a smooth ride at all.
No, LGD actually got completely beat down by CDEC, at least in the second game. The first game was a little bit closer, but overall just got out-executed. This is going to be a really interesting matchup. It's a very clear favorite for me in general, just going into the series. In this draft, I really like Virtus.Pro's last pick Drow. I think it's going to work very well with their overall game plan. And of course, they're very
by just going the early Wraithband build instead.
It's definitely a possible route to take here. I do want to say, though, when it comes to the team fights, it's very clear what LGD are trying to do with their draft. As you pointed out, they want to get up in Drow's face. But it's not just that Gust is good against the Clockwork, but they have really good defensive picks with it, too. They have the Fissure, they have the Rubik, who can throw away whoever comes in close, whether it's Tusk, Clock, or both. And they have really good Force Staff carriers, too, which I think we're going to see out of VP here. It's possible that it'll be the first main item for Lil. I do think Phobos will want a Blink Dagger first. He generally does go that way. But we'll see in time. As far as LGD goes, they have got one of the most favored carry heroes of this metagame right now, the Gyrocopter.
But then LGD, like they've also got that level 6 moment you can look for on the Clockwork. You've got that early Tuskar presence as well, which can just shift the balance.
Look at those stats. That does not bode well for LGD.
No, it does not.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
This is the time when I almost want to quote something I was saying to Theben watching Secret play, not yesterday, but the day before. And it kind of felt like SF was dropping off. He gets really, really big, but you never really feel like he's got the solid presence during the team fight the entire way through until he's fully six-slotted. And by that point, it's only for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then he drops off again.
I wonder if the poor win rate is just because teams are hesitant at the main event to make the big plays when Shadow Fiend is strong, because of course he does have a timing window and you want to try to end the game while your Shadow Fiend is strong. I feel like the hero hasn't been shut down that hard. He's been getting the farm he wants in most cases, but it looks really good the games honestly.
Yeah, but maybe didn't level up Raze at the start. He went for Necro Mastery, so we can't really punish Lena's positioning there. But this is something good from LGD. They've learned the Virtus.Pro. They like to get that secondary support coming in and just harassing the mid lane. Give God that space, but it will be just denied by Yao, who instantly moves back to start stacking up the jungle. I know the panelists were also talking about the fact you're picking up SF over on the Dire side. He's going to need his supports to really stack up that jungle because he can't do it himself, which you can do on the Radiant side.
Definitely going to take care of that with Yao. He's going to be probably tripling, if not even quad stacking the big one at least. And maybe we'll be playing that at level, most likely level 5. Nice Ice Shards there, but there is an escape path for G on the left-hand side, else it would be on the right-hand side. You can't cover the entire mid lane with Ice Shards. How sick would that be?
That would be pretty powerful.
It's like a Fissure that is not even that positional dependent. That would be pretty ridiculous.
I want to keep eyes on this bottom lane too, not just because Drow Ranger is down here, but it's also because Drow Ranger up against the Clockwork is one of these beautiful combinations. Once you get your second point up in the Ice Arrows as well as Boots, you can basically outrun the Clockwork, especially when Zhao Wei hasn't gone for Boots first. He's upsetting Lil inside the jungle, but with these cold arrows, you can basically keep Clockwork at bay, even to a point where you can find yourself a kill if you got the early damage. So this movement up right now, that's a level 2 cold arrow I'm talking about. And with the one creep behind Illidan, will keep the vision on him. It'll just make him burn through a little bit of consumables now. In fact, Illidan's just going to give it up.
And you actually brought up a really good point. It's Xiao 8 in the offlane.
Yeah.
It's not Yao. I think it's been Yao in almost every other game I remember of LGD at this tournament, but maybe he's not feeling comfortable on Clockwork, or he's just a better Tusk player, and they're like, whatever role we need Tusk in, Yao has to play it over Xiao 8. But
it could also be the change-up. I know LGD, they released a video shortly after their loss against CDEC, and they look completely disheartened, but there was one big part of the video where they said they went into their hotel room and just locked the door, and for hours on end they just decoded the game. They said, what went wrong? We got completely crushed. This cannot happen again. Find a way around it, and this flexibility may be a result of that.
It's generally, I do think across tournaments when we see after one loss that a team switches around the roles, it could just be a one-game thing, right? As we talked about, it could just be the heroes they have. But if this is a general change-up, that could be a sign of weakness, that you're trying to find a solution for a problem that, you know, might be there, but might not be the bigger issue. You just feel like our offlane in both games didn't go that well, but maybe it's the overarching strategy, maybe it's the shot calling, maybe it's the drafting. It could be so many things. But we'll see how it works out for them with this change. And I'm really curious to see what they do in game 2 if Shadow is offlane again, because then it could just be a flat.
Top lane, this could be the first blood right now. MMY is moving in quick. He can go start with a stun, follow up into the Hex with a Rocket Barrage. Phobos not tanky enough to survive this, not win the shards, or maybe he will. Back behind the tower, TP support's coming in on 11 life. Yao too low, FNG with a stun! Virtus.Pro underneath the team.
You know, close the distance.
So you earlier was said that they needed a mech carrier and that's why they picked the SF. You don't agree with that anymore?
I think it's fine. He also has to do a dagger at some point.
Okay, we can head back to the commentary team, so let's go back down to Synderen and Toby1.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are back here. Virtus.Pro versus LGD continues 4 minutes in after our first blood spilt by Virtus.Pro, turning it around on LGD. Hopefully all issues are sorted and we'll have a flawless game throughout the end. Welcome back, Sind. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to you too, although neither of us actually left.
No, we did not. We were still here. And those first 3 arrow hits from Illidan, when he's level 6, that's kill potential right there. And also noticing his build, we haven't seen anything up just yet. He's a 2-1-2 on the Drow Ranger. Going different from his build he did the other day, where he just left the 1 point up in the aura, actually bypassed the gust, and went for the 4 points up in arrows. So it leans a little bit heavily toward, more heavily towards the aura, but haven't seen the build-up of items just yet. He's only bought boots, that's all.
I think in this case where he doesn't really need the frost arrows, he doesn't need more than 2 points to run down the clockwork. It's way more beneficial for his team that he maxes the aura. It helps Storm a lot in ganks. And the Lina as well as Rubik of course benefit as well, but it's more about the
Yao, do you not want to be here? Yeah. God, he's right next to him. He doesn't know if he pops 1 red, but now he will know. Yao in close with a vision to help him out. God, bring the extra damage to work. 1 last attack, and it will be a kill. Going the way the VP win, maybe a long way up. Light Strike Array gonna connect on the SF. God, not enough mana. 1 more jump in, it's gonna be close up with the dust. He can't hide, but then again, he can bottle up the extra fissure as well. Maybe surviving into the tower, and Yao TP's into the mid, and now LGD, they brought practically their entire team bar Sylar into that mid lane to defend it.
Radiant's top tower
That's actually going to be like half of the life of the tier 1 tower lost in this time.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and if Clockwork's level 4, he can't do anything in this bottom lane actually. Xiaowei has to just try to soak whatever experience he can, but he's not finding as much as he would like. And he knows that if he comes in remotely close here, Illidan's going to start doing this, and if he gets lifted by Rubik, he's dead. You already saw there, by the way, how much the Drow Ranger aura came into play. I think G got the kill with 1 less attack, and it may not sound like the biggest of deals, but it is.
Radiant's top
it changes
tower is
everything
under
that you
attack.
have that. This might be a little greedy.
Yeah, gone for the jump. He wanted to get the rune. He's going to die for the cause. Maybe comes through with the double raises and the extra support control from LGD.
Notice the moment Yao gets level 2, they can suddenly do something right here. That kill would have been very difficult to pull off with ice shards. He brings in line close with Snowball, and they easily get a very, very key kill. And it goes to Shadow Fiend, which I think is good here as well. You need to make sure maybe has a good game.
How's he still looking on these stacks? Because Yao's moving back up for him now.
He's got to make a quad here.
Okay.
He times it right. This is a little bit tricky with the composition of this creep camp. I think he might have... Yeah, he's good. He's got it for sure.
Virtus.Pro's grouping up. They're ready for another smoke. There's something going to combine up with Phobos, and they move themselves away from Dire Observer Ward. In fact, they're actually going to combine with God as well. He's still got the double damage for him. That is the one upside of what did happen. He did pick up the rune, even though he didn't get the man to get out. And now Yao so close, the smoke's going to break. They put the Observer Ward down, but Yao walking to the side. And LGD, they managed to dodge a bullet for the moment, but only for the moment. Are they going to commit? Like, are they going to come up for Sylar?
It's very good for LGD though. Yeah, obviously they didn't die, but it's a lot of time commitment from VP. And you want, at this point, you want your Storm to be farming up as effectively as possible. He joins the gank because they think they'll need him, and that he's going to obviously help out with his DD. It's a DD rune wave for Illidan up to creep.
There's no way out this one. Not when there's 4 heroes coming down, and again the Shadow Fiend will be taking this last hit. And Drow Ranger was just not ready. There was an Observer and Sentry, the lane trying to see deep, but LGD coming under the cover of smoke.
They're going to get a tower too. I don't think there's any...
While top lane, Sylar going after Phobos, the cooldown, not enough to kill him off. FNG stuns and Feybolt's going to remove the damage of Sylar. They can't get a revenge until Stormspirit God! A long jump into the tower, Sylar's going to stick charge, but God's got more mana, but no! 12 life, he has to go again! But God will find the kill.
Radiant structures
That time he had to do it without the Dro aura.
Radiant's bottom
But still
tower
able to be
is under
successful. That's
attack.
his second kill of the game.
This is still very
bottom
good for
tower
LGD.
has fallen.
They've managed to fully pull back this game. They're actually leading quite a bit now by claiming that tower and by having maybe 2 kills, clearing out that big quad stack. He should be very far ahead on net worth, and he is. He's 800 ahead of G. It's a big gap down to the next heroes on the list. The safe laners for both
Radiant's
sides are
bottom tower is
trailing
under
the mid lanes
attack.
quite a bit. And now this is where it gets really interesting, because Shadow Fiend is closing in on level 6. The Tusk is starting to become valuable as well. This becomes a game of protect Illidan, I think. If you're LGD, you want to try to chase him down as much as possible, constantly gank out the Drow. That means they might have to rotate Phobos' Shaker defensively a couple of times, and that will delay his blink a lot. Because I don't think the Rubik can protect the Drow alone. I think she's still gonna die from this massive burst damage that LGD can roll in.
I'm wondering if he can protect it at all, because like the Fissure Stun's going to be the only thing. You telekinesis grab 1 of LGD when they snowball in, but the stun's still going to be there, and you'll still have multiple LGD heroes on top of the Dro. And if you do use that telekinesis, or even if you don't, like it could just be Shadow Fiend hooking in and soaking up a lot of damage, allowing Maybe to come in and do the rest of the work. This is a rough position for Virtus.Pro, and LGD, they've worked wonders to get themselves
Radiant's
back
middle
into a
tower is
commanding
under
position
attack.
in this game, and they're going to try and force the issue even more with a 3-man smoke, but they did it underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, so Virtus.Pro are well aware of what's going on.
FNG is like spamming Illidan. Illidan, what are you doing? We saw this smoke get out.
The money is not worth it. The money is just not worth it.
He really wanted
Radiant's
that big Drake
top
so he could
tower
get his
is under
treads, but
attack.
playing it safe here is the right call.
So they're going to 5-man smoke up. I think Virtus.Pro have had enough of LGD just taking tier 1 towers for free. They got the bottom one, but they'll refuse to give him the top. Phobos moving in. He's got a future block potential on Sylar right now, and he'll need it. FNG to follow up, and yeah, dead very quickly. God,
Radiant's
expending a
middle tower
large
is
chunk
under
of mana to get in that close.
Maybe has TP'd up here though. He has haste. If they want to fight this, they should do it right now, before the spells come off cooldown again for the Radiant.
It's so difficult though. There's also another Radiant Observer Ward sitting behind us, watching MMY, Sylar, and Maybe's movements. And they see the haste rune with only a quarter left. Yeah, VP just back up. They're going to get back to their own farming.
It's going to be a mech for the next fight. Maybe he's going to claim it right now. He's missing 15 gold. And we might see them get the tower after all. VP have rotated mid, so they can't defend it anymore. They did not have mana on Shaker, and I think they just decided, you know what, without Shaker, we're not holding this.
Radiant structures
They can slow it down a little bit, but that's only if Lil feels he can even get in range for a Fate Bolt. But there goes your T1 tower, so LGD will take it, and early mech. 11.5 minutes coming in from Maybe. That's where all the money goes. And is this just a ticket to push for LGD? Like your 5-man movement from LGD is just so strong. And Storm's not in a position where he can disable yet.
Yeah, you just go mid. If VP try to fight into them, they have defensive cogs, they have snowballs call down.
Radiant's middle tower
It's something we haven't talked about too much because we've been focusing a lot on the aggressive aspect of things, but initiating into LGD is actually very difficult. There are a lot of things that need to happen for you to be successful in that fight. They will lose this tower. Oh, that's a really,
Small gap to walk around the tree line and a gust back yell, but Illidan can get down and destroyed by the fall of the gyro. Plus the tier 1 tower. It was meant to be the 10 to 15 minute mark when Virtus.Pro were meant to come online, but right now LGD with his 5-man wall move, Virtus.Pro just have no answer to the Chinese.
They've got a really big problem now, which is they can't really enter their jungle anymore. They lost the access point towers. LGD have good aggressive warding, and LGD might have just have the better skirmishing heroes right now. Lina's only level 5, not 6 yet. Same for Rubik. We're 12.5 minutes in. This is pretty unusual for Virtus.Pro, at least in this tournament. I feel like their supports and their offlanes have been getting a lot of levels. DK Phobos is also only level 5. So
DK Phobos is dead. Hook shot in from Xiaowei, locking him in. Lil needs to force him back, but he gets burnt by the cops. Coming in a little bit too close, but now they go on Maybe, gusting him back out again. Trying to buy a little bit of space. This Earthshaker is going to take a very long time. He's actually just trying to get a soul ring at the moment. Not even worrying about Blink Dagger or Force Staff. Fissure spam to delay LGD.
And this is what you can do when the enemy team can't really initiate into you very well. Just go into a minute 13 Roshan. They have a very tanky Shadow Fiend. They do a good job of putting damage. They have frozen Sigil. And
They're backing out.
didn't like doing that, so they just go do something else.
It was too much success for LGD.
Game is too easy.
Yep. Challenge
Feels like we're cheating. Let's go back to mid.
challenge yourself. Give Dro level 11.
They might have just wanted to push out mid first and make sure they bring in Shadow, because in
Dire's
case this
top
fight does
tower
bring
is
out, it's
under
very
attack.
crucial for them that Clockwork is there.
Dire's
So
structures
no
are
chance of taking here.
fortified.
Push out mid. They'll maybe lose their top tier 1 tower here if G decides to really push it hard, so then they can lose again here.
I think you might be right about the whole waiting for Xiao Wei, because the timing of when they're going to be killing off Roshan is at the same time as the hook shot was coming off cooldown. So Virtus.Pro, if they have any intention of fighting LGD, they will lose this engagement. And Virtus.Pro know this. That's why they're not getting involved. They leave Illidan to just do pressure on mid lane. On top, you got a double damage from God, pushing into the tier 1 tower with no fortification from LGD. They can't protect the tier 1 tower, but they don't care. They've got the Aegis to the Immortal in the hands of Maybe, and they're coming down for the tier 2 tower. At this point, I know we're only 15 minutes in, Sim, but could LGD entertain the possibility of pressuring the tier 3? I'm only saying pressuring because I only feel like it could be a bait for Virtus.Pro to come out and defend against it.
Yeah.
And then LGD fight. Then potentially they can go up.
If they see 2 heroes on the map after they destroy this tower, they'll go 2-3, just to force the TPs back. Because the risk of them getting killed twice on the Shadow Fiend with no good counterplay is almost non-existent. See, this is what's really, really good about this draft. It's a good mech carrier. He's a really good Aegis carrier too. And you just, at this point in time, Virtus.Pro hasn't got to build up their Drow enough. She comes, these Drow lineups come online a little bit later when Drow has some more farm. So the right-click damage isn't enough yet to overpower Maybe, who has 16 armor. So LGD, I think they can just go from one tower to the next I'm not really seeing VP with a good chance of holding. They just put Shadow Fiend in front. He stands and hits the tower with the creep wave. If VP want to kill him, they more or less have to jump in G, and then he's at a big risk of getting hexed from a distance. If they don't, well, they just lose another tower. They've got to do something about this right now. Any sort of response, at the very least, just trying to pressure LGD and not giving them for free.
They're letting all the towers go. Virtus.Pro playing the weight game. They will not battle LGD outside their base. They know they can't win. Maybe they can let the Aegis, the Immortal, tick down. And in the meantime, you just keep pushing out the lanes. Illidan's going to add a little bit of pressure towards this tier 2 tower. He also finished up a helm with the Dominator and hit level 11. So you do have that bonus 60 agility coming into the Drow Ranger, which shares 45 damage with every range hero on Virtus.Pro. They are all about defending from inside their base in unfavorable circumstances, and even a denial from FNG on that tier 2 tower. Wait, are they still calling him? They got an Illidan on top lane. Yao gets the Walrus punch off the Gus, gonna push back Silent with a TP out, and Xiao hook shots in, and the Drow is dead for 44 seconds. But God's pressuring our bottom lane. FNG's kept the creep wave in mid at bay, so LGD can't really capitalize on this death time. But it's still a death for a Drow.
This has the potential to be a really short game, but
it does.
The thing LGD needs to be careful with is going high ground against VP. If they make one mistake and they lose, let's just say 2 or 3 heroes, not necessarily the 5-man fight, but just give VP a little bit of breathing room. When they're ahead this much of gold, the kills that VP will get on the defense will be really valuable.
God needs to get out of there. There's no disable on Maybe, so it would have only been damage that would kill him. But with this, the Observer Ward should scatter out the fact that Bloodstone is completed. There's an Obs Ward from LGD, which is watching the movement of the courier to and from the secret shop.
You know who else is rich?
Who is rich, apart from SF?
Yeah, SF.
It's just SF? Oh,
he just got a full BKB.
I was waiting for a huge surprise into it.
Yeah, Lion has taken 5. The Shadow Fiend has a BKB already with mech at minute 17. Treads Aquila. Bottle as well. He is very, very rich. This is one of the richest Shadow Fiends we've seen.
Illidan dead. Hot shot down again from Xiao's positioning was perfect at that point. He knew his making the Drow Ranger have to turn, and she couldn't get the Gus line right.
And even if she does, Xiao has a Force Staff. He's actually itemized differently. What we usually see from Clockwork's first in this tournament is the Blade Mail. I like the Force Staff first build a lot. It allows you to set up and get out and re-engage at any point in your life. And it's a counter to the enemy force staffs. If they push someone out of comms, you can actually run them down. And here we go, 18-minute high ground. There's no buyback on Illidan.
No, there's not. They have
just
to
going
out. They got defended with stuns again, but they got Meteor so low. FNG Laguna play. They're going to pop the Aegis to the Immortal. It buys time more than anything else, and FNG, no new light strike array. And actually, no, he will. Maybe forced away by Zhao 8. They'll back themselves up.
That's a good hold.
At the same time, you got to look up towards that top lane. The tier 2 tower
Dyer's
is
top
actually
tower
going
is
down
under
pretty
attack.
quickly, and yet they're having to bring support in. They could fortify to save it anyway. Sala will be the man to turn the flat cannon on, but Cardi's still doing the work. And if Storm's really cheeky about this, God could just jump in. Okay, no, he can't. That tower's got 107, but with the Invis Rune, he sees Yao and MMY moving up. But surprisingly for this game, like, okay, so LGD, they do some chip damage to that tier 3 tower, but beyond that, they're still not getting close to the end, and Virtus.Pro are finding farm across the map. God's hoping for a solo kill on MMY or any hero that's isolated, but instead the rest of Virtus.Pro, they're going to find the better target. The smoke, will it break with Zhao in the tree line? The gust, they do find the right target. Cleaning up the tree lines, they find Zhao 8. No good blade right now, and well, what was on? Rocket Flare only, but Storm Spirit jumping in. Zhao 8, the cost come up, pushing God back, and with maybe arriving with the mech. Zhao 8 being protected. God doesn't want to give this up just yet. FNG's managed to soak up the creep wave.
So LGD, they don't manage to, like you said, they don't manage to break the base. Like the tier 3 tower still has a lot of health in mid, but Virtus.Pro are not finding anything either. So the issue here is G is finding farm, Drow is not. And an underfarmed Drow is paper for this Dire lineup. The whole draft of Virtus.Pro was reliant on Illidan having a good game, and his early game was obviously great. He wasn't pressured in lane. But LGD's 4 out of their 6 kills are on that Drow. So there's very little that VP can do until Illidan gets more farm. So they have to just try to slow down the game and farm up as much as possible. But with LGD getting superior map control and easily being able to take the next Roshan probably without being contained by VP, it's still looking really grim for them, even though that first attempt didn't work.
It really is, and like normally I disagree with you with a whole Throat Ranger under farm, like things don't really work, because you can just go down the line and say, well, as long as she's got a Mask of Madness as well as like either a Shadow Blade or a Chrysalis, she's going to do the damage during the team fight. But we've got the Helm with a Dominator build from Illidan. It's a lot more stable, a lot more required up against this LGD lineup. It's now God
Dyer's
jumping in, but okay.
attack.
Yeah, he has a regeneration rune, but when he arrived, he still didn't have the mana for it. I had to go for a Vortex around thing, and now actually maybe jumping up here. That tower's on 36 life. It only needs one more attack to bring it down, and Zhao 8's going to actually offer 2. Okay, 3. He's not that strong.
Dyer's top tower has been denied.
But the tower gets denied. I still can't believe that tier 1 tower remains in middle lane when you got to throw.
Trouble, but
Hold down. FNG's in trouble. On the run out of here. He needs more life. The Rocket's going to kill him. They need someone to get rid of this for him. And Lil, the Storm Cop was jumping for it desperately. Couldn't reach it in time. And while he was doing that, Sylar was TPing back to base, enjoying the spoils of war.
that was a level 1 homing missile as well. So any bottle charge, destroying the rocket, of course, would have been great. But it's another kill. He had to expend a BKB charge for that, though. So I don't think that's an incredibly good kill for LGD, but it's definitely better than not going for it.
Illidan's trying to keep the rest of LGD away. The shards, it doesn't lock in Illidan, but Zhao 8 will. The snowball's coming as well. The Gus can't push him back. The Ninja will push Yao out of the comms, but it will not stop him from killing the Drow Ranger. Zhao 8's battery assault working in combination with the Walrus Punch, and maybe to the front line. Going to pick him up and throw him back. Trying to keep LGD away from their base. But the Blink Dagger now online. There's better initiation, especially when you can force up into a Blink on the SF. Can't get close enough, do enough damage. As Virtus.Pro actually being held at bay a little bit here by a lot of spam. Because you got a level 4 Rocket Flare on the Rubik. He's had this for a while. He's been using it to control the side lanes more than anything else, Lil. But getting up with a full creep wave, you got Feybolt, Fissure, Slave, potential Remnants, and whatever Rubik can steal. Which there's a lot of good abilities for as well. So getting a creep wave and keeping a creep wave on the high ground on VP's base is very difficult for LGD.
Dyer's bottom tower is
But then again, their team is so strong, it only has to go up for a second. Turn the backdoor regen off. God's pressuring bottom lane while LGD take tier 2 tower on top. And they're already
Dyer's
coming back to stop this.
is under attack.
As God will zip himself away to safety.
They have to protect Illidan more. It's very, very clear that that's what... Oh, that rocket would probably see that smoke coming out just...
It came at the last second, though. And LGD haven't done mass pings for it. They are grouping up together behind their tier 1 tower. So they're moving like they did see him. But they're also moving like Roshan should be respawning, which he just did. So LGD, they have the option of Roshan. And they're already going to take it.
If a fight breaks out in this Roshan pit, LGD is going to absolutely crush them if Drow isn't there. And if Drow is there, they might still absolutely crush them, but then they have a chance.
It would take Illidan too long to get there.
Yeah.
Like, he might have a TP scroll, but he'll have to TP himself down to that tier 3 tower on bot lane. Because with no outer towers, there's just no way to move.
I think this is the type of situation where you try to steal it with Storm.
One little creep which got stolen. The Radiant creep wave followed him into the pit. This is the control right now coming in from Sylar. That's what he's doing. He's just messing with the creep wave. And now they'll move in and take out Roshan. And VP have no intention of fighting this. They're still farming Drow up on top. Just getting closer and closer to having that BKB effect. But they're still a recipe away. A little bit
And the issue for Illidan is that he was forced into getting the BKB in the first place. Because this means he can maybe survive the fight, but can he output a lot of damage? He doesn't have the aggressive build with, like, say, Sanjin Yasha or just a Yasha Mask of Madness or any build-up for Butterfly, that kind of stuff.
He could still go into the SF1, but it kind of feels like LGD's heroes are forcing him into the BKB.
But if he has a BKB and the Clockwork jumps him, let's say he survives, what's his impact in the fight anyway? He's probably going to get, like, he's going to get some attacks off in the Clockwork in melee range, but Clock has 11 armor and he's losing so much agility, he's losing the 60 when he comes in close. It's tricky. Do they have any Force Staff on the Radiant? They do not.
It's coming up on Phobos.
Yeah. He chooses to go and overblink this game. It looks like Lil will get one as well.
Real trouble. Hook shot in. He's going to lose Alpha Wolf as well. That's the extra damage down the drain. And once again, maybe finds the kill. He goes 4 for 0 on this SF.
They actually just stole his Alpha Wolf.
The Helm of the Dominator of Sylar.
It has 1,600 health because he dominated another Dominator creep. It's really tanky. If they keep ping-ponging this could be a really big one. It does work that way, right? Yeah, there's no way to get 1,600 health from one domination.
So many goes in this game.
He has more health than this one.
Yeah, God, jumping in on maybe, but this is only harassment to make LGD think twice, but it already reveals the fact that we have a Glimmer Cape on the Tusker to go along with his Urn and Arcane Boots. That Blink Dagger of Lion is also waiting for the perfect moment against the Storm. A Storm that doesn't have Linken's or BKB. So it's a guaranteed control every time from MMY over on guard. And FFG, well, there's the jump. They find Will, they bring him down. Stormford jumping in. MMY already down for the count. Maybe it's BKB. There was a 10-second charge coming out. And now they just back out. They trigger the drums. But both BKBs now on cooldown and drove back to the world of living. They're not going to fight it. And it is actually going to be the BKB. He bought the Mithril Hammer.
Good hold by VP, though. But the question is, how long can they go on? These BKBs were used from LGD, so they're going to wait until they're off cooldown again. But they didn't lose the Aegis, so the moment Lion is back, they can look to group up again and try one more time. And this tower is getting really low on health, and the Glyph was forced, so there's another good 4 minutes that they can use on just setting up for that
the
one
Scribbles,
tower.
Illidan, you don't want to be here. That Dire Observer was watching go up. Xiao wait. Hook shots in. And now real trouble for Illidan. Answering 3. The Shuffle with Xiao back out. But then the SF locks in. God looking for a revenge kill over on Yao. Able to clear him. Well finishing the job with a Fade Bolt. They move over to Maybe. Just throwing him back with the telekinesis. FNG timing it out. There is time. Costa got mana as well to jump back into base. But Lil needs to force stuff away from Phobos. Way too much damage coming out from that SF for a Rubik to stand there.
And I think this is when LGD just go and get, at the very least, the tower. They have their BKB ready on Shadow Fiend and Gyro again. Decent fissure from Phobos.
Solskjaer is so close to this Orchid of his. Having that, they might have to find some openings right now. FNG, it's a trade-off. The force up out. Hits him out the corner. God! Maybe! Down at 25 life. Remember, he's still got the Aegis to the Immortal. So he would have just cracked it.
VP are doing such a good job. Another fantastic hold. I was sure they were going to at least lose their tower there, but they put so much pressure on Maybe in that situation that LGD go back a bit. The 4-staff plays, of course, they're saving FNG. Very well done. And maybe they can outlast the Aegis now. There's 1.5 minutes left on it. Maybe has to go back to base to heal up. That means they actually only have like a minute to get there.
VP actually have openings now. They got choices. Even though they keep getting seen by this dire Observer Ward, which is sitting on the hill near the mid lane, they keep getting scouted out their movements from this. This is why Illidan's died now twice over on those Ancients. But it's the fact you've got the Orchid flying in on God. So they got a way to get this instant kill. Fissure out, and then White's going to jump God. Where's this arm's going to come the call down. 3 euros the first point. Caught this one. The 4-5 down by Robot. Getting himself away from Xiaowei, but Xiaowei keeping on the back of him. The battery assault will finish the double on Illidan. Star's going to finish this job. Xiaowei's actually managed to pick up a double kill. Illidan actually away to safety for now. TPing out. FNG will not be so lucky, and actually Illidan won't either. The blink dagger on the answer gets him there in the nick of time. As God's just trying to creep, skip this out and keep the wave away from the VP base. And he'll be successful for the moment. He missed the timing out just by a little bit. So 30 seconds until Dro is up. That creep wave is still going to take some time. Another 10 seconds before we get to the Radiant base.
He's going to cut the next one, but I think it doesn't matter. It was actually really, really important he hit his wave. And with that miss, the tower's gone this time, I promise. They're not holding it this time.
Well, they lose the Aegis to the Immortal LGD, so if they're going to do this, it comes with a little bit of risk. Robot still has that Echo Slam. He's looking at a nice creep wave, even though he's going to fissure it for now. And well, I guess your promise is not true, Syndra. That tier 3 tower will drop.
There goes the Aegis. I think you already said that.
Yep.
He lost it twice.
Snap. Man, these racks is getting worked on at the moment. The Sigil will drop. Shards out. Illidan and Lil getting caught on base. They do have Laguna Blade. They're going to pop the SF. Lost off him up. And they've got extra health. Broken back and down. Direct more control required. It's just not there. LGD too strong. The comms keeping the rest of Virtus.Pro away from LGD. But maybe Glimmercape plus the mech and BKB survivability was essential.
It's so crucial Yao gets that off. If he didn't glimmer him right when he did, maybe would have definitely died there. And that fight could have maybe been 2 or 3 kills for VP. The moment Shadow Fiend is down and doesn't get Requiem off, they have so much damage between the rounds as well.
Now they go into that range right taken. God jumping on forward, but Xiaowei going in deeper. He forced us into that one. They find the Illidan, and they'll go over to God as well as FNG. Retreating back behind the tier 4 towers. Only the Storm has the ability to escape at the moment, and the TPing a long way forward, actually trying to get outside the base. Xiaowei so low, Laguna Blade, it's 5 seconds off cooldown. It's enough to kill Xiaowei, but doesn't live for 5 seconds. Maybe not even possible. Stormford, a long way out, they lose to Lina. And the Storm TP ball attempt to get a kill was not enough damage to pick up the LGD.
And that is a dieback for FNG.
So costly, especially as he's trying to somehow rush up into that Aghanim Scepter on the Lina. If he was capable of achieving that one, he wouldn't really care about Glimmer or these BKBs anymore. Life is becoming more and more troublesome here for Virtus.Pro. They need a miracle to turn what is now a 20k net worth deficit around on LGD. 14,000 for the experience as well. LGD are just in a commanding position, and they really needed a game like this. After what happened in the winners bracket semi-final, they needed something like this against Virtus.Pro. And they need to hold on to this as well.
And that stat you just saw there shows how absolutely counter-blooded it's been in this game. He has been shut down so hard by LGD. He doesn't have a killer assist at minute 32. Just extremely unusual for him, because he's an aggressive carry, and you know, he's renowned for... In recent times, he's become a lot more stable, but he's been renowned for playing like super aggressively.
Ooh, Xiaowei just didn't have the length on it, but Illidan, they're trying to force off him into the base, not possible. Maybe we'll trigger the BKB and the 4-stops, and the walk back was just enough for Illidan.
Oh,
yeah, they get one on Yao. It's going to allow Lil to steal ability. Going to turn around Xiaowei, tracking again, FNG with a stun, and Laguna Blade over on Xiaowei. They're looking for the kill, but then again, the Glimmercape doing the work. God, he just wants to find the kill, able to do so. The gem's on the deck. But so are 3 of the VP players. Trying to run himself away, but God, there's just no banner. The Bloodstone denied, but can they keep him stunned up long enough? And no! They just let the Requiem play out its song, and they explode the Storm Spirit. No denial from the Bloodstone. And now SF is 11 for 0. And Illidan
He got an assist.
was. He's 0
Radiant
for 10
structures are fortified.
on this drone.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
funny because the panel, and I thought too that Drow could be a really good pick in this game. I thought it actually could work out very well, but LGD has just been so extremely aggressively on him that he never came online.
Storm jumping out, Orchid's over it, and then why? So there's no ability to hex him. But it's at least intimidation enough for LG to back up. And Menard's with you until the Tuskar pick as well.
Well, even after the Tuskar pick, we were talking about how they had the solutions, but LGD has outmaneuvered them. They kept finding, see, that's another thing. They kept finding Illidan on his own. If backup was there, maybe they could have turned it, but I think at least 5 of his deaths have just been like 3-on-1. Well, what are you going to do as Drow? You're going to die.
Yep.
There's absolutely nothing in this hero's spell kit that allows you to escape at all. So,
It's a hard life.
This game is... If you come back from this, wow, I don't even know.
Next to the All-Star match comeback, it would be an impressive comeback. But LGD, they're looking to ensure even more. This is the third Roshan now. In 34 minutes, both Aegis and Cheese have put the Cheese over on Sylar, while the SF is the man carrying the Aegis to the Immortal. And FNG is doing all he can. He's moved up to the top lane, and they just try and keep these lanes pushing out. But they realize now LGD are coming to end this game, to take a one-game advantage against Virtus.Pro and keep their hopes alive here in the International. This is lower bracket. This is elimination.
Bottom barracks are under
The loser of this series goes out, so it's all or nothing. But they leave maybe on the front line. LGD, they know the burst is there. And then MNY, the Orchid from God, he wants to finish the job. MNY takes up like God can't lead. He can't kill him. FNG's down for him on the small time, and maybe one in the only destroyed. Sylar will actually take the ultra kill. He'll take the bottom rack, and they'll take the GG. LGD, a terrific performance. It looked a little bit weird with the snowball on the top lane, but after that, it was all Gucci for LGD.
Yeah, I even think DP had a good start to that game. That's the scary part. Like, their first 5 minutes were actually good. They got the counter kill top, so Lina was off to a good start. Shaker survived. They found a couple of, or they found another kill. Drow had good farm. Storm had a good mid lane. And then LGD just, with a snap of their